the influence of my school experience was the enlargement of my intellectual interest. Before going to the High School of Music and Art, I really didn't know much about classical music, for example. I didn't know very much about dance, ballet and that kind of thing. And of course, as far as even working with certain materials like oil paint, I hadn't the vaguest notion of how that's done. What happened in music and art is that we were required in my generation to experience a variety of techniques and the word escapes me. It's everything from making linoleum cuts to painting with oil and watercolor. I mean, they try to give us the widest range of experience with art and art materials. And of course, we were taken to museums once a week to see the work of the masters, and there was just a tremendous amount of encouragement. And I think some of us, and this may be an unkind thing to say, but I think some of us became a little bit more favorites of certain teachers. I know I was in a drawing class where the assignment was to draw any kind of scene that pops into your mind. And I had, at that time, kind of fallen in love with Terry and the Pirates because it seemed so exotic and beautifully drawn by Milton Caniff, and we all admired it. So I decided to do a scene in China, in a marketplace with rickshaws and all kinds of things like that. And suddenly I noticed that there was somebody behind me who was practically breathing on my neck, and it was Miss Riley, and she said, "Where in the world do you get that scene from?" So I said, "Well, I've been reading these Terry and the Pirates and all that, and so I've just put things together." And she said, "Next time you start a drawing, call me over. I want to see how you start." And because when she came over, I had started in the middle of the page and spread out all around. And I think, most artists and illustrators visualize what the total picture is going to be, so it really doesn't matter where you start. You want to eventually arrive at that finished picture in your mind. But she was fascinated by that, and I felt so complimented, that I did wind up being one of her favorite students, and that, of course, helped my ego, and it was very encouraging. So, but then I went to Miss Kynes' class where it was graphic art with making linoleum prints, and I got carried away with that and made linoleum prints in 5 colors. It's all very exciting. They opened the doors to things that you never knew existed. And this is why I credit my experience in that particular school, which also produced pretty much most of the people from Mad Magazine, Harvey Kurtzman, who invented Mad Magazine, he was a freshman when I was a senior. I knew of him in school, and he knew of me, but we didn't know each other in school. And Will Elder was my buddy, and John Severin, another early Mad guy. Al Feldstein, who was editor for about 40 years of Mad, was also a music and art student. So I think the school opened our eyes and our minds to the world.